Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Robuilt. I'm your host, Rob, and we're about to back this Airstream into this spot right here, to that spot right there. Come back to me. And I'm about to fail horribly. Yas Queen, keep going. As I said, I failed miserably, so I had my buddy Clint finish the job for me, and we're about to hit the final spot right here. Today we're going to be talking about what I have planned for my tiny house village here in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, or more specifically Sevierville, Tennessee. Really quick to address some of your questions and why I chose this specific location. It was actually very intentional. A lot of people thought it was super random, but Sevierville, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, that's right outside of the Great Smoky Mountains, which is the #1 most visited national park in the country. Over 1 million people visit that park every single month, bringing the total tourism traffic to this area to about 14 to 15 million people every single year. Now, because of that, Gatlinburg, Tennessee is actually the #1 hottest Airbnb location in the entire country. So I decided to go a little bit outside of that to kind of hit on the secluded aspect of getting away, but still being able to travel to the national park if that's something you wanted to do. Okay, so I was getting ready to upload this video, and before I did, I just wanted to quickly shout out to my hair, which looks insane in this video. It looks really good. I just wanted to say that because it never looks this good on camera. So anyways, all right, back to the video. Before we get into the rest of the video, I just wanted to say I got so much support from y'all when I said I was packing up, moving from California to Tennessee to start my tiny house village. I genuinely appreciate that. So if you like my channel and you want to support me as a growing creator on YouTube, there are a couple small things you can do. You can hit the like button, you can hit the subscribe button or the notification bell so that you get notified anytime that I post a video about my upcoming tiny house village. And you can go really over beyond and leave me a comment. For today's topic, why don't you tell me what kind of tiny house I should build on my land here in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I'm still deciding on what types of structures to put up here. Your input will directly be considered whenever I'm building out my 50-acre tiny house village. And of course, if you want to learn how to do, oh God, swallowed a bug. All right. And of course, if you want to learn how to do this yourself, you can always sign up for a consultation with me. We do a 1-hour Zoom where we talk about how to start tiny house villages, how to put an Airstream in the desert, how to build a tiny house in Joshua Tree, California, or anywhere in the country, or how to start an Airbnb business in general. I'll leave a link in the description for you down below. And if you don't feel like you have enough questions for a consultation, you can always ask me anything on Hey Hero, also in the description. All right, let's get back into it. So with that, as you can see behind me, we have our silver whale here. It was a little bit of trial and error, as you saw in the intro. I tried to back this in, and then my cameraman Clint over there had to finish the job for me. But as you can see, we have it parked right here, right next to this stream, and it is looking so epic. I'm like super woo! Mud. I can't avoid stepping on mud. I'm really super excited about the scenery here. Clint, why don't you give us a little pan of the area? So as you can see, it's very naturally, mother naturally, if you will. Now I've got a really cool plan for this. Originally I wanted to do an Airstream treehouse, but as I started looking into permitting, that was proving to be a little bit difficult. It's not completely off the table, but I decided to kind of pivot and create a super epic outdoor space around the Airstream. So one of my subscribers, Jordan, reached out to me. He's a landscape architectural designer. Oh, is that what he is? He's a landscape architect. Yeah, I should probably look this up. Sorry, Jordan. Yeah, landscape architect. I told him I wanted to create an epic outdoor space that was a multi-tier deck with a watchtower. So we're actually gonna have a U-shaped deck that goes around this Airstream over here. And then right up here, we're gonna have a watchtower that hopefully connects to this tree up here so as to still stay true to my original vision of a tree house. So we'll have a lookout tower here that kind of connects down to a deck right around here, comes around to the Airstream. And it's not exactly a tree house, but I think that once you see that your view is this beautiful creek or crick, right? Cricket. Once you see this beautiful stream out here, this view right here is phenomenal, especially when it's covered in snow. When it's dusted, bro, it really is something that you can't beat. I'm still projecting to book this anywhere from the $150 to $250 a night range, depending on how epic I can make this outdoor space. Tappa, tappa, tappa. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the rest of the land now and give you a quick tour of kind of what I was thinking. So as you can see here, I have a very large meadow with a giant tree because a snowstorm collapsed that tree a couple of weeks ago. But I was thinking that over here, this could be a really good spot for parking. Now, in all actuality, it would be a lot cheaper to build my tiny houses here because it's on flat land. and I wouldn't have to grade, I wouldn't have to hire engineers and do all that kind of jazz. However, by building here, I would be blocking off access to my entire land out here. So I have to be very smart with how I plan this development. Now, granted, if I'm only building 5 tiny houses on this land, it's not a big deal, but my zoning allows me to build 1 unit per 2 acres. And considering I have 50 acres, I can technically build up to 25 different units on this land. Woo! I'm winded. I was born for this. It's the elevation. As always, I swear, it's not because I haven't worked out in 2 years. So long story short, I need to allow myself access to my own land, right? And most of my land, I don't know if you know this, spoiler alert, 50 acres is huge. I mean, it goes really far back. We hiked my entire land and it took us well over an hour and a half, 2 hours. It took us 2 hours to hike 50 acres. So basically I want to leave this all open. Now we're gonna go to the part where we're gonna be developing first. And that's a short walk, a short jaunt. Guaranteed I'll be winded by the end of this. So I was just talking about this tree that fell over, and I was gonna have to hire someone to come chop it down. And my neighbor, really nice guy, just drove by and was like, hey, do you need that tree gone? If you'll donate it, I'll chop it up for you. Like literally in the last 5 minutes. So the tree problem has been solved. All right, let's go see the rest of the land. All right, well, my glasses came in. Do they look tight? Do they look tight? Because they feel tight. I can't feel the side of my head. I can't feel my face. But they look tight, dude. I got them in green because I figured since I'm moving to Tennessee in the middle of a forest, figured I would try to embrace my surroundings and wear green glasses. What do you think? Pretty good? Or should I not wear them? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's go check out the land. So as you can see, the land is rather enchanting. Now, it's not really gonna be a hike to get to these tiny houses. We're gonna be excavating a road through this forest. However, I'm trying to choose a spot specifically where I don't have to take down any trees because cutting down trees is a little lame. Yeah, let's go. This is a one-take wonder over here. Okay, so we've reached one part of it. Just for frame of reference, let's pan around here and show them where the airstream is. The airstream's like right back here. And as you can see, we have like all of this land right over here, which is actually mostly flat, given a few dead trees that I did not kill. So because there's so many flat pads here, me and my business partner are actually thinking about building A-frames all inside of these nooks that you see right here. So there's a little space right here, there's a space right there, there's a space right there, and I want to keep it staggered. Now, granted, I am going for secluded because, you know, this is your view, right? But you're still going to have a few A-frame neighbors kind of close by. One thing that I've learned as a glam site owner is that when you're too secluded, people tend to get a little bit spooked if they drive down, you know, like a desert road or inside of a forest and they think that the hills have eyes, people are going to capture them and take them away. So a lot of the times people feel reassured when they see another kind of similar glamping unit with an eye shot. Is that the correct term? Yeah, all right, we're good. And then let's take a look at the final idea that we have for what we're doing. Some of this starts to get a little bit costly, so I'm currently working with a couple investors to make this reality come true. If you're an investor, hit me up. I got a lot of people that showed interest in my last video about this. I wasn't expecting it, but you know, some of these projects are a little bit on the higher end and they could cost anywhere from $75,000 to $200,000 for what I'm about to show you. But right now for these A-frames, we're thinking that they're tentatively gonna cost anywhere from $45,000 to $75,000 a piece. I was really trying to work with a really cool prefab company called Den Outdoors. I definitely recommend them if you're into prefab kits or anything like that. However, out here, the kits are a little bit tougher to permit. So I'm still working through some of that red tape. So I'm having to work with the draftsman to integrate local codes into the A-frame. So the prefab thing is a little bit harder out here. I think it's still possible, but it's a long journey. Whereas if I design it from the ground up, it's a lot easier to permit this stuff. And I just don't have the time to spend a year on one unit. So I'm trying to crank out 3 or 4 at the same time. You know how you know that this is an oak? By the way that it is.
How neat is that?
Pretty neat. So the final little piece of this development that we're trying to raise funds for is building little 20-foot container pods into the earth itself. Now, as you know, I like to build things that have never been done before, or, you know, something that has a very cool creative twist. You've seen Hobbit houses, you've seen container homes, and I kind of want to do something that's like a modern Hobbit home, like think Frodo Baggin meets Architectural Digest home tour. So basically what I want to do is excavate into the hillside here. I'm going to have to work with a geotechnical engineer to make this happen and basically plant like a 20-foot container into the earth itself and put really big windows into those container homes so that you have a view of all of this forest behind you. Cameraman. There you go. Yeah, that's your view. I mean, obviously we're going to clean that up. Obviously we're going to clean all this up, but either way, like this right here, if this was your view, like from inside of here over the water, and you had to walk over a bridge to get back and forth, I think that that's really an experience. And I think that that's the future of Airbnb and short-term rentals in general. One of the reasons that we're out here is because a huge snowstorm hit a couple weeks ago, and we're out assessing the damage to see how it affected my land. And as you can see, trees are everywhere. And so that's why there was a huge tree out at the front and why my neighbor stopped, because he wanted the firewood, and I have plenty of firewood to give. So if you want firewood and you live in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, hit me up because I got a lot of dead trees on my land. So as you can see, there's plenty of land here that we can utilize. And I think it's the perfect spot for the Robuilt tiny home village. So as you can see, the potential here is endless. I've been thinking about this for the last 3-4 months as I've been in the home buying process. And it's been really tough for me to really visualize what I want to do for the land because I simply didn't live here. But I officially live in Tennessee now. I live on my land. I've been able to walk my 50 acres and it's so much better than I imagined. And I can't stress enough that I did this because y'all supported me to come out here and pursue this dream. So sorry if it's a little scatterbrained. As you may or may not know, I am ADHD, so it's not really that much of a surprise, but there's a lot to do here. There's a lot of work, but I'm super, super excited. If you're interested in investing in this, feel free to shoot me an email. If you're a landscape architect, send me an email. If you're a civil engineer or a geotechnical engineer, like, it takes a village to build a tiny village, and I could use all of your help to make this dream come true. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. What would you like to see on Robland? On Robuiltland, Builtland, Quirktown? No. What would you like to see on Builtland? Robuiltland? What should I call this place? On my tiny house village. And I'll catch you on the next episode of Robuilt. Don't you dare stop recording. All right, actually I have nothing else to say. See you guys.